Hey everybody, we're here at another section here. We're looking at something pretty unique and pretty near and dear to the RoGator C-Series, right? Boom not primed, okay? So what we see here is where the machine came into the field and we didn't have that boom, fully engaged or fully primed up, and we weren't getting, a good spray pattern at that point. Pressure wasn't built up. So Tim and Brad, you want to talk a little bit about maybe the scenario that played out here and what we see and what you saw?
Well, anytime you're spraying plots, you're changing chemistry a lot, right. And so you're rinsing out, you're changing, you're doing a lot of things, and so every once in a while you'll get started and you won't have your boom fully full of chemical. So Brad, you want to talk about what particularly happened here?
What particularly happens is we cleaned the sprayer out, we went ahead and loaded the sprayer, and then we just came to the field and just started spraying, which means that we had to have time for that product to get from the tank all the way through the lines and out to the spray booms. That took, as you can see, about 5-10 feet for our size sprayer. On a commercial sprayer, you might see this for 100 feet through the field. But,
exactly.
You'll see this typically at the entrances of fields when you're doing an application. So it's very common error made by applications.
And it's getting so much more common of guys having to clean out their sprayers because there's so many different chemistries and there's so many different tolerant crops that you have to, you're rinsing so much more often than you used to. It used to be, you could stay with one chemistry for a long time, but now you're going between chemistries, and we're seeing it so much more common that you have to go in and rinse, and with some of the chemistries you have to rinse very thoroughly, so it takes a lot of time. So the less time you can spend rinsing and switching between products, the better off you are, the more productive you can be in the field.
Right. If you're not spraying, that's lost dollars, that's lost hours, lost acres. That becomes a real realization, if you will. Mike, from a product or maybe a plant perspective, what does this mean as far as weed resistance, right? So part of the field and part of the weeds are going to get a little bit of kill here. The ones on the end might just have a slight bit of product on them. Maybe that causes some resistance or just a little bit of damage, and then we're gonna see some problems.
Yeah, there's the potential that slight exposure that doesn't get a full kill could maybe increase the metabolism or harden those weeds off and make them more difficult to kill. But I think at the base level, it's just the plain and simple fact is you missed. You missed weeds that are not going to go away, and you take this to a commercial level where now you've got this situation but 100 feet into the field, and a lot of times if you don't know that it happened, it may be 3 weeks before you come back and realize, well, I missed those weeds because I didn't get the boom prime. And by that time, odds are those weeds are probably going to be an off-label height, your crop may be off-label, and now you have to look at some sort of alternative method of controlling those weeds that's probably not going to be nearly as time efficient.
Hey folks, we're here at another excellent example on the plot here. We're looking at boom primed, much similar to the correct boom height, right? A lot of boxes are checked off here. We've got the right GPA, we've got the right nozzle height, we've got the right nozzle selection, right? And our boom is primed. So when we came into this field, that recirculation is turned on, the boom is fully primed before we start spraying. We've got the right product mix and the right pressures. Everything is going right, and I think the results speak for themselves. Very, very clean, very good kill down on the weeds. Cropsmith guys, what do we see here? What did you experience during that application?
I think what you're seeing is a typical correct application of product on a post application. So our chemistries are correct and our boom heights are correct. Everything is, and then results are what you see. We get pretty good control.
Really good control. Mike or Greg, I know Mike, we talked about some of the other issues we've seen, not priming the boom, not having their correct boom height, right? We have a great burn down here. Any thoughts from your angle?
Just goes to show you do everything right, and you're putting yourself in a position to have very successful weed control.
Setting yourself up for success.
Absolutely.
Greg, so we talk about boom primed. We just mentioned incorrect or not priming the boom. What does the boom priming mean to a customer, to a grower?
You got to prime the boom. You got to prime it, and so with conventional sprayer, what that means is you're going to push 30-40 gallons out before you get in, and you're going to get a consistent spray pattern. You're going to get a consistent spray pattern from the base of the machine all the way boom tip to boom tip.
Yep.
And that's really important. With RoGator Liquid Logic, obviously with our recirculating boom, we can put product out to the boom tip very quickly,
Right.
and that saves time, and obviously eliminates the need to spray in the fence row or away from the crop prior to getting in the field, and that's a value proposition we talk about quite often.
Yeah, a lot of money. I mean, thousands of dollars, I'm guessing. Can you speak to any numbers as far as what, if we extrapolate that over one season, even what that could mean to what it can mean to a customer?
Well, certainly. So there's a couple things, right? You're talking about the wasted product, right? So when you prime the boom with conventional sprayer, you're 30 to 40 gallons, of product. Product is expensive. So studies are $50, $60 per acre for input costs, and so that adds up. We talk about if you're not going to do it correctly, and you leave escapes out there, potentially if it's not cleaned out along with it, you've got crop damage. You've got potential yield issues. So it's two sides. I think it's two sides. One is on the input cost that you save, and then secondly is on the the crop, the yield side. And then obviously in retail operations, I would say time saving is a big deal as well. Where you might spend 5 or 10 minutes that in that process, and you really reduce that time down because you can get in there and get going quickly. So I think those are some things. Definitely there's some numbers there. It's going to happen in the headlines when you get going, but certainly something to pay attention to.
So yeah, good stuff, folks. Like we said, all the boxes were checked here. This is probably the top-notch section of the plots here. It shows what it looks like when everything goes right. And we talked about, think about how many times you have to prime that boom, or how many times you've had to clean out your boom. With the RoGator and the C series with Liquid Logic. That's kind of a thing of the past, right? One button, that recirc's on, you're going to be able to prime before those booms are unfolded. Also allows you to flush out and recapture everything in the booms, right? You don't have to go spray it out in the back corner of a field somewhere and lose all that product. 30 to 40 gallons. We all know what that product costs. You're looking anywhere from $40 to $60, kind of in the middle there as far as cost. So a lot of savings there. So appreciate it. Thank you.